Hi friends, welcome to my channel. My name is Salima and in today's video, we are diving deep into the hottest, most popular concealers on the scene. I have been putting these concealers to the test for a while now, and spoiler alert, there might be some unexpected jams and flops in the mix. From flawless finish to major coverage, I will be sharing what works, what flops, and everything in between. So grab your snack, hit that subscribe button, and let's get ready to find your new Holy Grail concealer. Starting strong with one of my favorite discoveries from 2023 makeup is the Kulfi Main Match Concealer. It seriously packs a punch in terms of coverage. Now I know full coverage can sometimes translate to heavy and cakey, but this one is different. The formula is surprisingly lightweight and hydrating. No dry patches or texture peeking through here. It blends like a dream. Now let's talk about staying power. In my experience, it stays put all day long. No touch-ups needed. So I 100% agree with their self-setting claims. It truly stays put, looking fresh even after 10 to 12 hours of application. So if you're on the hunt for a concealer that delivers major coverage without feeling like a mask, this Kulfi Main Match is a total winner. The Hourglass Vanish Airbrush Concealer has been all over social media, so I grabbed the mini size to see what the hype was about. As someone with dry skin and a lot of makeup, I always appreciate brands offering minis for their pricier products. You get a good feel about the product before committing to the full size. Anyways, back to the product. This concealer is thicker and creamier compared to the Kulfi concealer. You get some serious coverage out of it, but it is a struggle to blend it if you're not careful with the amount used. The formula isn't hydrating as much as I like it, so it tends to highlight any existing texture on my skin after a while. The only reason why I didn't return this concealer is because it delivers an instant airbrushed filtered looking skin. So the verdict, if you have normal or oily skin, this might be your next Holy Grail concealer. But for my dry skin friends, I recommend you to hydrate your skin well before using this concealer and maybe stick to the mini size for a trial run before diving into the full size commitment. Now let's talk about the Makeup by Mario concealer. I have done a short video comparing the Hourglass with the Makeup by Mario concealer. In case you're interested, I will link it up for you all. Firstly, the texture of this concealer set up a high standard in my mind. It's thin, lightweight, and blends effortlessly. Think of it like second skin, not a cakey mask. Plus, it goes on feeling super hydrating and comfortable. But then there's a plot twist. Within minutes, it creased like nobody's business, especially under my eyes. It emphasized lines I never knew existed. No matter what I tried, less product, setting powder, sponge, brush, eye cream, the creases kept coming back. Now for some oily skin folks, this might be their perfect match, but for my normal to dry skin folks, it is a major disappointment. Next up, we have the Haus Triclone Concealer. If you're looking for that blurred, airbrushed finish without the cakey feeling, this Haus Triclone Concealer can be your new BFF. Seriously, it's everything I wish the Hourglass was. This concealer has a super comfortable, hydrating base that feels amazing on the skin, unlike the Hourglass, which can be a bit drying. Coverage-wise, it's more medium, but it still covers my dark circles, redness, and even some light blemishes flawlessly. And I don't struggle blending it in my skin. This formula glides on and blends like a dream, leaving a beautiful, natural finish. One thing I will say is that while you can build it up a bit, keep in mind that it's not a full coverage concealer. If you go too heavy-handed, creasing might happen. But honestly, for everyday wear or no makeup days, this medium coverage is perfect. In fact, it's one of my favorite medium coverage concealer that still feels like second skin. Okay, now let's talk about a fairly new concealer launch. Fenty has finally answered our prayers with their new hydrating waterproof concealer. It has a consistency that I prefer in my concealer, so it's thin, almost like a serum, and therefore it blends beautifully and builds up the coverage without ever looking cakey. Plus, the natural, radiant finish is exactly what I look for everyday wear. I like to pair it with their Fenty Eavesdrop Skin Tint or the Stick Foundation for that fresh, flawless base. It also has a brightening effect on my skin tone because of that peachy and slightly warm undertones. Now, here's the thing. If I need to wear this for a full day, I need to set it with a powder because it starts to crease after 3 to 4 hours. The creasing is not as prominent as with the Makeup by Mario concealer, and you can take care of it by using a touch of powder. Overall, considering the comfortable wear, buildable coverage, and radiant finish, I think this concealer is worth a shot. If you are loving this concealer roundup, pause this video and let me know in the comments below which concealer you are most tempted to try. Next up, we have the Tower28 Hydrating Serum Concealer. In my humble opinion, this is by far one of the best product launches by Tower28. It's a serum concealer, so it has that similar lightweight, thin consistency as the Fenty concealer, but it has a lot more pigment compared to the Fenty Beauty. So it's medium to full coverage. It has a natural finish. It doesn't crease even if you try to build up the coverage. Plus, it seriously lasts all day. No powder needed, which is a miracle for my dry skin. I honestly have nothing to complain. Tower28 in general is a brand that's geared towards sensitive, eczema-prone skin. So if you have sensitive skin, if you struggle with texture, or if you prefer a full coverage hydrating concealer, you should check it out. Another serum concealer in this roundup is the Lift Tinted Hydrating Serum Concealer. It has this cool paintbrush-like wand similar to Dior's concealer that allows for super precise and controlled application. Consistency-wise, I find it to be on the creamier side and not necessarily like a serum. So the formula is thicker compared to the Tower28 or the Fenty concealer. However, it delivers the moisture and hydration to the skin, which makes it comfortable to wear for a longer duration. Coverage-wise, it is light to medium. I don't like to use the shade under my eyes, but it looks good all over my face. Next up, we have the YSL All Hours Creaseless Concealer. The packaging is stunning. This YSL logo on the cap and a unique applicator. The flat panel side can be used to apply product all over the face, while this triangular tip can be used for a precise application. On my recent trip in December, I put this concealer to the ultimate test. No foundation, lots of outdoor activities, 15 plus hours without touch-ups. And guess what? It didn't budge. No creasing, just a soft, blurred, natural finish that made my skin look flawless. You can customize the coverage to your liking from light medium to medium full depending on what look you want. Now, is it a splurge? Absolutely. But for the luxurious feel, innovative applicator, and incredible performance, I think it's worth considering, especially if you're seeking a high-end concealer that truly delivers. Another concealer with beautiful packaging and a large doe foot applicator is the Lancome Tint Idole Ultra Wear All Over Concealer. It has the same Longwear crease resistant formula as the YSL, but the difference is that Lancome feels more hydrating on the skin. It has more coverage and it dries down to a radiant finish compared to the YSL. It is as full coverage as the Kulfi concealer or the Hourglass concealer, but it's more lightweight and hydrating on the skin, unlike those concealers. So if you want more coverage, but you hate the feeling of makeup on the skin, this is a good concealer to try. The last concealer in today's lineup is the Colé Skin Enhancing Concealer. When I first applied it, it immediately reminded me of the Kosas Creamy Concealer in terms of the consistency and finish on the skin. It has a thin, creamy consistency that's easy to spread and blend, gives a medium coverage, and dries down to a radiant finish on the skin. I have tried building up the formula for full coverage and it doesn't look heavy or cakey, which is great. The only drawback is that their shade range runs dark. So if you are a few shades lighter than me, you might not be able to find a color match for you. Other than that, it's a beautiful concealer that lasts all day on me and I keep it in my rotation. Alright, that's the end of today's concealer showdown. I hope you found it helpful. Tell me in the comments below if you would like to see a part 2 and which concealers you are most curious about. Maybe more high-end concealers or some drugstore concealers. You decide. Also, let me know your experience with any of the concealers I've mentioned today. As always, take care and I will see you in my next video. Bye.